Hello, thank you for tuning in again to No More Watcher. Bye. Next time, I'm your host, Larry Duncan Allen. I have a subject going today. Wait a minute, let me put my cash app up so y'all can hit it up. Help me, help support me in this endeavor. Um, I have a subject today. Pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. But if you notice, it has a question mark behind it. The reason there's a question mark is because it's something that's often said to us, but each time we tried or did, it was thwarted by mobs and even the government. And it's been that way all around the world with people of African descent. Every time we try to lift ourselves up on our own, which they say they want to see us do, because they claim all we want is handouts. But every time we try to lift ourselves up on our own, they interfered. They do not want to see us prosper on our own. They want us to always be subservient to them. They, to make my point, each time we set up economic centers in areas, it was bombed, raided, burnt down, people were killed, and the people who were killed were mostly the business people. I used to look at these pictures of the lynchings, and the men, they stripped their clothes off, but they left the women clothes on. And I noticed that the women whom they lynched were very well dressed. They were business women and businessmen who they were lynching, not someone who went out and raped a white woman or committed a crime against white people. The only crime they committed was they became economically prosperous. And they were lynched and killed for it, and their business burnt down to the ground. Because when slavery ended, what they wanted was black people to fill in roles like nannies, still doing the same type of work that they were doing when they were slaves, because they didn't want to do it. So that's why they try to keep us in a subservient role. Well, and each time we did lift ourselves up by our own bootstraps, there was a reconstruction period like we're having right now. What we're having right now is reconstruction, the third reconstruction. Because anytime black people prospers, with what they felt it had immense prosperity, there was a reconstruction period to take all of our rights away. In each reconstruction period, our rights was taken away. Everything we gained was taken away. That's why when you're given rights, when you're given freedom, the people who give it to you can take it away whenever they get ready. So now we're going through a reconstruction period. What caused it? This time, something happened that wasn't supposed to happen. A black man became president of the United States. After that happened, they started talking about the browning of the United States. Now, I say the United States, I don't say America because this is not the only part of America. So, and what happened with, so that's why they're getting the immigrants out, and these non-white immigrants, because they want it to be a mostly white country, really an all-white country, because us black people, they can't just throw us all out, not 50 million people, and we are citizens, and they're trying to bring all those manufacturing jobs back, low-paying manufacturing jobs for black people. They don't want to see you prosper. Just take what's happening even in Africa, Burkina Faso, and Abraham Tory. They tried to have this man killed because he he wants foreigners out of his country, wants the French out, and they processed their own gold. They rebuilt an infrastructure. They took over put the French out the Air Force Base. They they made 18 extra $billion by processing their own gold because the French would pay them pennies on the dollar through they used dictators. They put in a president, and they put in a president, and he was nothing but a puppet of the French. And then they even in the Ivory Coast, they're having a coup over there. They can't find the president. He's in hiding. He's right next door to Burkina Faso because this is a movement that's catching on. He's in hiding. He's a billionaire president while the people suffering because they take money. You take down in Haiti, Papa Doc and Baby Doc down there. They became almost billionaires. He left Haiti with $800 million, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. And they were going to get him and put him on trial and kill him, but the United States and France snuck him out of the country. When Haiti had a president, Aristide, who was trying to help the people, the United States had a limousine come and pull up, and they threw him out the country. The United States did that. Now over in Africa now, Uganda has put the French out. Said they're gonna do their own manufacturing, and it's spreading all over Africa now. So they tried to kill Abraham Traore, the president of Burkina Faso, by giving his people in his army $8 million to kill him. But they took the $8 million and they went right back and told what was going on. And they were ready for them when they came. And they've had, I think, 20 assassination attempts on this man's life since 2022. Well, they say pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. That's what they're doing. See, Europe was built off the riches of Africa. And I don't know why they allowed it to happen. How did colonialism come anyway? Don't let them people come in and take your stuff. And also, when the colonialists left, when you got away from under colonialism, you should have kicked them out. Send them to the plane station, airport, butt naked with nothing. But you didn't have the courage to do that because many of those African nations, the people was running it politically, but Europe was still running it economically. Now they have white farmers coming here. And let me tell you, this MAGA stuff, now, it's not just affecting black people. See, Trump don't care about anyone but his rich friends. And he's going to come to the place where if you got all people of color out of here, it's going to be white people fighting against each other. The liberals and the conservatives, the MAGAs and the non-MAGAs. And see, they don't care about hurting white people. If you're not MAGA, they don't care about you hurting either. So you need to join in with us because they don't care about you hurting either. Because anytime, but getting back to my subject, anytime we try to make strides on our own, you complain, oh, there's one handouts. They don't want to work. Well, why come when you say you're opening a new company, you have lines around the block of black people applying for those jobs? For people who don't want to work. For the people who have worked and just about built. Most of the buildings of the past, like in the 19th century, are the slaves of black people did the labor on that. Black people built the White House. They built that plantation that burnt down that everyone's clapping about, that we're clapping about. They built that. Now, how would you like it if someone take a place where your people suffered at and turn it into a reception hall, people having weddings there, and turn it into a hotel, You only do that to slap black people in the face. You wouldn't do that to Jews. What do you think if in Germany if they turned the Auschwitz urbans where they killed Jews, the Auschwitz camp, into a tourist attraction, into a well, it is a museum like attraction, but if they turned it into an Airbnb, and people go there and have their weddings, you wouldn't do that to Jews, but you would do it to us. These African nations are pulling themselves up, and they said no one's going to stop them, and they want to get all foreign troops off of their land. And I don't blame them. They should have been gone. And I wish they'd get strong enough to let the United States know you're going to stop bombing Syria. You better not come back into Iraq or Libya. So we got something for you. To the United States, they have helped Europe. One thing Trump is doing, he's helping to end the Caucasian dominance of the world. But he doesn't even realize it. He's just furthering it along. See, there have been different races that has dominated the earth. Just as their reign came to an end, the Caucasian reign will come to an end. And they feel it coming. You know why? Because right now, Trump is treating the United States like an empire in decline. You see, an empire in decline, what it does is it seeks to take other people's territory, try to expand its territory, take others' raw and natural resources. That's what the United States is trying to do now, trying to take Canada, Greenland. He's after going to Ukraine and going to other countries trying to get their natural resources. Chad want the United States to help them to fight against Burkina Faso. And you know and Trump wants some of their raw natural resources. And you know who's fighting with Chad? And the United States, because they're going to help them. You know who's fighting with Chad? Al Qaeda. You know, Osama bin Laden's old group that the United States is supposed to hate so much. They're fighting with Chad against Burkina Faso. So you think the United States will want to help Burkina Faso. Notice who they can rob and pillage. That's who they want to help. They do not want Africa to become self-sustaining, which it could have been a long time ago, but they had all of these crooked leaders just giving their stuff away for pennies on the dollar. That's why when I saw an African billionaire, I knew that had to be one selfish SOB for his people to be suffering the way they are, and he's running around here a billionaire. But those are the people that Europe propped up because they know they could use them to steal all the riches of Africa. That's the reason that Hitler went to war against Europe. He said you went in there and got rich off of Africa, and we didn't. So he went to take what they got. Long have Africa, I can't say Africa, but here in America, we've been trying to do for ourselves. See what's going to happen now. If you notice, what Trump is doing hasn't really hurt black people as bad because we wasn't getting what they thought we were getting. They thought that we were benefiting a lot from affirmative action. No, we weren't. Because they had 17% set aside with white women, people of color, let's just say everyone except white males. So if everyone else is getting 17%, who gets left So the white male is now the minority because everyone else is lumped in this 17%, which black people only got about less than 1% of. So who gets the 83%? White males. It benefited him more. DEI benefited white females more. So that's why you don't hear black people hiring much, not yet. So far, it hasn't hurt us this bad. It's hurt white people more than it has us. But they thought it was going to hurt us. That's why the reason many of them voted for it, to hurt us, and they're hurting themselves. Yeah, they thought we would be. See, they put a black face on it because everyone in MAGA, even the Latinos who voted for Trump, each one of them talking about how they wanted to see somebody else hurt and suffer. But you didn't. But you FAFO. You know what that means? You found out that he don't care about you either. He just wanted your vote. And what happens is, they said one Latino, they interviewed him. They had sent his family back to one of the Latino, one of the Latin nations, and he said, they asked him, well, why did you vote for Trump? He said, I wanted to see the liberals cry. Now he's crying. So he FAFO. You see, your hate and your racism is, I knew it would catch up with this nation one day, and it has. And it's being destroyed from within. All great empires but never didn't come down from conquering armies from without. It was always from within. Now you got an orange idiot in there who is dismantling this nation. And it's helping other disenfranchised nations to rise, like in Africa. This is giving them what they can survive and start doing on their own. And I'm going to tell you, they got farmers coming over here. See, Vance, the vice president, he's over a farm entity with farmland. They're going to give those South African farmers many of your land that you're going to lose. Not the black farmers, because the black farmers wasn't getting government subsidies anyway. That's why things not hurting us as bad. We're used to it. You're just getting a taste of what we've been used to. And see, with the and those people who vote, those farmers who voted for Trump, I don't feel sorry for you. It's good to see you on TV crying. Oh, I thought he was going to do this. I thought he was going to do that. Now, you thought he was going to hurt everyone. You thought he was going to hurt everyone but you. But you FAFO. And you know what? I hope you lose your house. I hope you lose your 401k, your car, your truck, your SUV, your land, your dog. Lose it all. I don't care. Because you wouldn't have cared if it was us. I'm going to take a break, and I'll be right back.
What's good, everybody? My name is Brandon Hunter, also known as OG Brando, and I am the founder formulator for the Origin of Greatness. In front of me, I have my products, the OG Hair Sheen, which is all-around great moisturizer, and then I have my hemp seed butter, which is all-around great moisturizer for the skin as well. If you have any questions about either of my products, please, you can find me at the Origin of Greatness on Instagram, the OG LLC on Facebook, and at our website at theog.net. And also be on the lookout for the OG in collab in connection with Tierra Speaks. You might just catch us, with some. We got a little collab going on. She got her thing with her self-care box, and so we got some things coming. But greatness is definitely on the way. Onward and upward.
Hi, we're here today to promote the Juneteenth Art Contest. This year we have two categories. We have the youngest, the 12th through 5th grade, the K through 5th grade. We want all the artists to submit their original art piece, whether it be sculptures, abstract, watercolor, however you want to submit it. It has to be an original art piece. And the first place prize is $186.50. We also have the second category, which would be 6th through 12th grade. Again, we want original art pieces. Submit them by June 18th. Please get your submissions in.
Okay, I'm back. Now you know, in Burkina Faso, they're building roads, they're building bridges, they've been building a transit system. They're replacing the railways. They have their own airline. But you know, they'll make you think Africa is backward. Have you seen those modern city skylines? Very advanced nation, very advanced continent. They just show you the worst. See, anytime you hate a people, you show the worst of them. Just like here in America. They show you the people living down in the projects and people living in poverty. They talk about the crime, black people prone to crime. If that's the case, as I said the other night, why do we have areas and cities surrounding the large cities where the people in survival mode down in the cities, so they're going to commit crime? You'll see but in those areas where you have working class black people, there's very little crime. In some areas, none at all. You see, when black people are able to maintain themselves and not in survival mode, we're very peaceful people. But others, they could be working, they could have jobs doing well, and still commit crime. See, we as a people, we've actually been the moral conscience of this nation. If it wasn't for us, even the immigrants and everyone would have the rights that they have. It's because of the civil rights movement and all the efforts that was put forward by black people that many of these people have the rights that they have. Then they come to this country, and the way they assimilate is showing their hatred for black people. Come on, you know how Asians are towards us, Arabs. They just come to make money. Latinos, I lived around them in L.A. They hate us. They come here, arrogant with us, and you know what? Even you Africans did it. Come over here and be arrogant with the black people here. Now, they sent, I think it was a couple thousand Sudanese people out of the country. Let me see how many that was. Let me look on here right quick. I think it was a couple thousand people from Sudan who they sent out of the United States. Sudanese. Yeah, they sent them out of the United States. So they want to bring in all white people to stop the browning of the United States. I'm typing in Sudanese deported. Alright, Sudanese deported, yes. Trump confirms attempted deportation of migrants to South Sudan. Oh, they tried to send migrants to South Sudan. Attempted deportation. They tried to send the migrants to Sudan, but Sudan wouldn't accept them. They're taking people, sending them now, and they're going to send people from Latin America over to Africa. Any of these African leaders take those migrants, they need to be ran out of office. Yeah, they need to be ran out of office. So let me see. They're trying to send. Say President Trump on Thursday confirmed that a group of migrants from countries including Vietnam, Cuba, and Mexico were stuck in the East African nation of the uh, Djibouti on their way to being deported to South Sudan, a location U.S. officials had previously said in court was classified. How you gonna send people to a nation they've never been to? And why would the African still want to try to do this stuff? They need to run the Sudanese president out. They need to run him out. You have no business taking those people, bringing in from Cuba. Now, see, the Cubans, most of them voted for Trump. That's why I don't feel sorry for them, because see, Cubans had a status of because Cuba was a communist nation. Cubans were able to come here. Now he's sending them away. See, no one is going to ever trust the United States anymore, because one president can have you do one thing, then another president can come and stop it. The United States is not going to ever be trusted again, and I don't blame the people for not trusting them. That's why I tell you, many of you black people, you might want to see about getting up out of here yourself and leave this mess alone. Take your expertise to other nations. You don't have to sit around here take lesser jobs because you can't get a job here. It's not the only country you can work in. Take some of that expertise to other nations that can use it. Now take it to some other nations that can use it. Set up your GoFundMe if you choose to leave. I'm not talking about the ones who don't choose to leave. Those who want to stay, fine. But those who have been wanting to leave this nation for a long time but just didn't have the money, set up your GoFundMe. And just think if 3, 4, 5 million people had a GoFundMe and the reason was for leaving the United States. You know that's going to get their attention. And you know what? Then after that, you can start asking the government, hey, give us $1 million apiece. If you want us to leave, they always talking about go back to Africa. But when they said to me, I tell them go back to Europe. Now, if they want us to go that bad, pay us to go. Now, we're not going for free with nothing in our pockets. We're going to go somewhere we never been, broke. That'll be our reparations. But they're sending people half a world away. But see, Sudan, they're crazy if they take that. They're stuck in an East African nation of Djibouti. What is wrong with the Africans? Why do you all go along with anything? You have these leaders who just go along with anything. Why in the world would they take people migrants from the United States just for anything for a little money? I mean, Abraham Tory, he's going to have to get to them and let them know. This is a new Africa. I mean, West Africa is waking up. East Africa has to wake up also. And the Ivory Coast, they told that billionaire president, you got to go. He's in hiding. Don't let him go with all that money. And they need to not let him go in. Don't let him go. Deal with him. He needs to go to prison. Whatever sentence you decide to give him, if it's unalive sentence, it would be fitting also. It's time to stop playing. We're at war. In Africa and here. It's time to stop playing. We're at war with our own, with segment of the population and government. And I'm going to tell you that right now, black people are not, they say we're not protesting enough. We've done enough. What are we going to do? See, this really haven't hit us. Everyone else get their interest, we're doing our interest. Some get out there, but not that many. But to be honest with you, we hadn't just stopped protesting after George Floyd. Black people haven't really protested much since then. A lot of the Black Lives Matter rallies, they've been white people. Remember the couple that pulled their gun over in St. Louis on some people? Matter of fact, I was about just a few minutes away from filming that myself, but I left because they were protesting. That was the Stockley protest, I think, and they were talking about going to the mayor's house to protest. And I left because I don't do that. I feel if you're going to protest the mayor, there was really something the mayor had nothing to do with. I think Lyda Cruzan was the mayor at the time. But if I'm going to protest the mayor, I think you should go to City Hall and protest the mayor. And don't go to their residence, not to their private residence. That's me. Anyone else can do whatever they want to, but I wouldn't go to the mayor's house to protest. I go to City Hall. Now, that couple that pulled the gun, even they said, well, we don't know what's wrong because it was white people who we pulled it on. Because most of the protesters was white. There were some black ones, and you can see in the video where the black ones was going back. See, we used to protesting and people doing stuff. We don't react. But the white people, they wasn't used to it. And they was pulling the white people, telling them to come on, keep moving, let's go. See, we know how to do it. We don't let ourselves get distracted like that. Looting, there's never been any violent black protests. The only time it was violent, like in the 60s, when they was putting violence against black people, not the other way around. There's never been any, there's been looting. You know what happened? The protesters didn't leave the line, go loot and fight. Those were other people. As a matter of fact, during Michael Brown protests in Ferguson, the people had to leave the lines. They got see the protesters don't like the looting because it takes away from their cars. The people left the lines and stopped the looting. The police wouldn't do anything. And that's how it stopped. The protesters stopped the looters. So how is that a violent protest? When it did get violent, it's when others came in to help us. It wasn't like the police station that was burned in Minneapolis. Those weren't black people. Then you had some agitators that come in. They over in St. Louis. There was a guy, remember they had that video of the guy breaking the window out? And they took his mask off, he was white. They're trying to ruin our protest. But we appreciate those who come out and help. But right now, we have to apply strategy while we're sitting down. 'Cause we can't expect others to just do things for us. Like we always have. We pulled ourselves up by our own bootstraps. Others haven't. They've always had help. Like the South African farmers. They're going to have help. When the other immigrants came here from Europe, they were given land, tools to farm the land with, forgivable loans. They were helped out. The black people got nothing. But yet they'll turn around and say black people was given everything. The people who folks say was given everything got nothing. And the ones who they say pulled themselves by their own bootstraps, they were the ones given everything. Even now, with the DEI and affirmative action, everyone thought that was black people getting all of that. No, it wasn't. We got very little of it. That's why it's not hurting us so much. Look at who is hurting. It'll tell you who was getting it. You don't hear black people complain about losing those jobs. Not that many. You don't hear black farmers talk about losing their farms. They wasn't getting subsidized anyway. And when they did, and when the pandemic money came through that was given to the farms to subsidize them, the black farmers didn't get any of that money. And then when the black farmers sued to get their share and won, the white farmers sued to get part of that money. And the black farmers never got it. I don't know why. Because if I win a lawsuit and win because someone else outside challenged it, what's that got to do with my money? What does that have to do with the black farmers' money because the white farmers challenged it and wanted some of it? So now you get nothing. That's why I say I don't care about them losing their farm. They didn't care about the black people losing their farm. You can lose your house, your car, your dog, your cat. I don't care. And you could be out there on Skid Row. I'm tired of people hurting us and we praying for them and we can try to look out for them and no one looking out for us. Now, I'm not talking about the ones who didn't do it. I'm talking about the ones who did it. But then they don't worry about which one of us who didn't do it. When they say black people are doing certain things, they don't say some. They say black people. So all I can do is say the white farmers. And if you didn't do it, but you know who you are. I don't need to call you out. Sometimes I catch myself. I'm doing what I say others do. Trying to sort through. I'm not sorting through anybody. Don't nobody sort through us. If you're the good guy, then you be the good guy. And you don't worry about what I say if you're the good guy. Because don't nobody worry about which one of us is the good guy. They don't sort through us. Even now on social media, they're still talking against the black people who was displaced in the tornado incidents. They mostly hit in the city of St. Louis. It hit the north side. I know that they say it was some of the expensive homes of the millionaires was destroyed, but the people not making fun of them. They're making fun of the black people. They millionaires rebuild. They don't need FEMA. Then FEMA's not coming anyway. Trump and messed that up. But I see they started churches and different people out there giving people food and clothes. Where are they going to be out there looting tonight? What kind of diabolical, evil people sit around and want to make fun of people who was hit by a tornado? We don't do that, but you do. During Hurricane Katrina, they did the same thing. Every black catastrophe, this happens. You have white talk show hosts saying, I don't care nothing about those people. Nobody give a damn about what you don't care about. We don't care about you. And black people, we need to stop loving folks who don't love us. I don't. I just haven't reached that stage yet. I know they say love your enemy. I haven't gotten there, and I doubt if I ever will. They don't love me. We need to start giving an eye for an eye, two eyes for an eye, and all your uppers for a tooth. We have to stop playing with people because some of them start talking about coming after us violently, and we have to be ready for that. Pookie and Ray Ray, y'all know what y'all got to save. Got to save that stuff. Leave each other alone. They had to call the people couldn't even put the people electric in because Pookie and Ray Ray want to shoot at each other. They come to install the electric. And the worst part about it, if the citizens go after those criminals, they'll lock you up quick. The police know who they are. See, they don't go after those criminals. They go after the good guys. They go after somebody who got some expired tags, and they know who's selling drugs. They know who's the gangbangers. They do not bother them. You go down there to report a crime, and they treat you like you the criminal. That's why a lot of black people stop going reporting crimes at the police station. Talk to you all crazy. The police coddle these criminals. How many people have who was shot by the police who was actually a gangbanger? So I thought he had a gun. With there's so many gangbangers out with guns, why all of them? I thought he had a gun. Very few ever had it. How many of them was gangbangers they shot? How many of them was drug dealers? Very few, if any. And even if there were those things, you gotta go by what they was doing at that time, not what they've been doing. But you go after the good guys who don't bother anyone. That's why the crime prospers so. See, it was never meant. It was never meant to serve and protect black areas. What happened was, the police was actually formed to track runaway slaves, and they kept it over. You used to have sheriff's office and marshals. But what happened was they 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 to serve and protect the white areas and contain crime, not prevent it, not serve and protect, but to contain crime in black areas. That's why when black people would go to a white area, they would racially profile you because that was part of their containment. We're not going to let them bring that up here. It's gotten a little better, but they still don't go after the criminals. They know who they are. They know who the criminals are. They don't want to go after them. They go after people who commit. If you notice, when they arrest someone, say, "Oh, he had a very long arrest record, traffic, little misdemeanor stuff," and most of them was survival stuff anyway. That most crime black people commit are survival crime. Now those little gang bangers and all, that's a different story. But we can't do anything about it. Go down there and hurt one of them. Oh, they'll throw you in jail quick. But say they can't do anything to him. So now we see no one's going to help us. We have to help ourselves. That's why I had a question mark. Pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Do you really want us to do that? Or you just say that just to demean us when you know we've always tried? When we try to separate from you, have our own areas, you messed that up. You don't want us to do that. What do you want? Anytime we try to do something for ourselves, you try to eliminate it. Well, just what do you want? You want us to leave here? Like I say, pay us to leave. Give us the money. $1 million apiece you want us to leave. That bad. You can have an all-white nation. And then you're going to go after each other. Because people have to have a boogeyman. See, here we're the boogeyman. Right now, the only reason you're going after Latinos is to prevent the browning of the United States. Because the Latinos have always been arrogant towards us. People of color haven't been our friends. Yeah, when I see them on those videos, where's the black people at crime? We need your help. We ain't thinking about y'all. You wasn't thinking about us when you was being all arrogant with us. You voted for him, that's your problem. I know all of you didn't vote for him, but enough for you. But I know the Cubans who's being deported, stuck over there in East Africa, and you voted for Trump to mess up other Latinos, to get back at somebody else. Now here you was over here half a world away because of your vote. I know you got to feel like a fool. But you F-A-F-O, didn't you? I don't feel sorry for you. Stay stuck over there. I'm not feeling sorry for anyone else who try to help, who try to hurt our people. I don't feel sorry for you. I don't have that pity for real. I never have really. See, The reason I'm saying this is because we've been morally there for everyone, but no one hasn't been there for us. So now, let's let them take this battle on. Because most of the things that were eliminated are things that they were prospering from, not us. They thought we was prospering from it. That's why the MAGA folks voted against it, not knowing they were hurting their own people and the MAGA people too. And see, now the MAGA people, white people who are not for Trump, they're against you too. They want you to hurt too. And if we leave here, they're coming after you. And those who stood with us, we appreciate that. We're not talking about you. Those, a lot of those MAGA people, they lost their jobs. They're crying. They're crying. We don't know what we're going to do. Who cares what you're going to do? Cry me a river of tears. Because you tried to hurt someone else and you end up hurting yourself. Now, back to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Now you're going to have to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Because you don't have the government to help you anymore. You veterans that voted for Trump. See, I don't feel sorry for you. You know why? I don't feel sorry for any of you people. It's no surprise. This orange piece of doo-doo told you what he was going to do. He told you everything he was going to do. That's the excuse he's giving now. Well, every time they ask a question, well, this is what he ran on. The people wanted it. This is what he ran on. And now getting to the South African president. Do you see how dignified he is? He made Trump look like a little boy playing games. And you know what the problem is? Those pictures and videos Trump was showing, everyone knew it was all a lie. They knew those. They know that there's no genocide going on in South Africa. You 8.1% of the population and control 96% of the wealth, 75% of the farmland, and you being discriminated against. You haven't been discriminated enough. They need to throw all of you off them farms and sent you to the airport and train station butt naked. Should have sent you to the United States butt naked. That's what they should have done. Throw all of you out of there. Then did you get off the plane with sheets and blankets on? Not a penny in your pocket. But they probably got it in a Dutch bank. That's where they came from. Why come they didn't let them go back to Dutch? And see, even in Burkina Faso, they started their own central bank. And you know Trump talking about he ought to arrest this man. He ain't arresting nobody. They're not going to let the United States come in there. All of Africa needs to fight the United States if they try to come in there. And quit letting everybody just come in your land and do whatever they want to do. And I'm not. That's why we don't need to have pity on none of these people. They don't have pity on us. They don't want to see you make it on your own. If they lose their land, they lose their jobs. The people who didn't vote for Trump, I feel for you and your jobs. I mean everybody who didn't vote for Trump. But those who voted for Trump, that's who I'm talking about. I mean, I hope your dog run away. You can't feed him no more and he run away. I hope the new immigrants get your house. See, how does it feel to be treated like an N-word? Trumpers? How does it feel? You're being treated like an N-word. How does it feel? Government doing whatever they want to you, lying to you, taking everything away from you. You don't have any more rights either. You have many more rights than we do now. How does it feel? Trumpers, Maganites, Trumpites, how does it feel? You got to get out in the street and protest like we used to do. How does it feel? Does it feel good? It didn't feel good to us. But you're getting the mild point. It's just a matter of time before Trump starts sending the National Guards of soldiers out after you. It's just a matter of time. If we had been out there, he would have been sent them out. He would have been sent them out for us as a reason. The reason I say I don't want black people to go out there, I'm gonna tell you why. They're gonna arrest you and ship you to a prison. That's what they want to do anyway to black people. There's no they can't. They have to have a reason to. They want you to get out there. They want black people to get out there and protest. Then they ship you off to a prison. So don't fall for it. That's the reason I say I don't want to see us out there. See, they're not going to ship the white citizens out. They will the Latinos, but they're not going to ship the white citizens out. But they will black people send you to a prison somewhere if you get out there and protest. That's why I really don't want to see our people out there. That's why. Now, if you want to go, fine, go ahead, but you're going to have to deal with the consequences. You've been told. You're going to have to deal with the consequences. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back.
What's good, everybody? My name is Brandon Hunter, also known as OG Brando, and I am the founding formulator for the Origin of Greatness. In front of me, I have my products, the OG Hair Sheen, which is all-around great moisturizer, and then I have my hemp seed butter, which is all-around great moisturizer for the skin as well. If you have any questions about either of my products, please, you can find me at the Origin of Greatness on Instagram, the OG LLC on Facebook, and at our website at theog.net. And also, be on the lookout for the OG in collab and connection with Tierra Speaks. You might just catch us, with some, we got a little collab going on. She got her thing with her self-care box, and so we got some things coming. But greatness is definitely on the way, onward and upward.
Okay, I'm back. Get my graphics back up. Support my Cash App if you can. Anything you send is fine. $1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 100, 1,000. Anything you send is fine because I got a lot of programming coming down the line, and I want to be able to bring some people in. So a lot of people don't know. We actually did a show with Dick Gregory from this building years ago with Stephanie Miles and Smiles. And we did that show with Dick Gregory from this building. I have pictures. That's where the picture I have with Dick Gregory, and I'm him standing out in front of this building. It was actually here what we did the show with Dick Gregory before he passed away. And somebody just had an accident. Excuse me for a second. I want to go see something. I just heard an accident outside. Excuse me for 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, I'm back. I had to go pee. Yeah, that was a terrible accident outside at that stop sign. People constantly run that stop sign all day long. I hope they're okay, though. There's a white truck and another dark vehicle that was on the side street, but I hope they're okay. Accidents do happen, and I can't see anybody ran a stop sign, but because I didn't see it, but I know they do run that stop sign all day long. I hope they're okay. I can hear the horn blowing, the alarm going off, but hope they're okay. And where was I? Yeah. But look, we as I was saying, we don't need to really get out there because they're looking for a reason to deport black people. They don't have a reason to deport us yet. They're looking for a reason. They want us out of here too. We're the main ones they want out of here, to be honest with you. But they're not willing to pay for us to go. If they pay for us to go, we'll go. Give us some money. Yeah, give us some money. I'm going to run a commercial again because I heard something I'll have to go see. And there's a lot of activity going on. I'll be back in a second.
What's good, everybody? My name is Brandon Hunter, also known as OG Brando, and I am the founder formulator for the Origin of Greatness. In front of me, I have my products, the OG Hair Sheen, which is all-around great moisturizer, and then I have my hemp seed butter, which is all-around great moisturizer for the skin as well. If you have any questions about either of my products, please, you can find me at the Origin of Greatness on Instagram, the OG LLC on Facebook, and at our website at theog.net. And also be on the lookout for the OG in collab in connection with Tierra Speaks. You might just catch us, with some. We got a little collab going on. She got her thing with her self-care box, and so we got some things coming. But greatness is definitely on the way. Onward and upward.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, there's a lot of activity going on out there. And with that accident, it was a really bad accident. But yeah, so that's why I'm saying let's be careful. Because right now, they're looking to attack us all around the world. Africa is waking up. See, the Caucasian rule of the earth is on its last leg. They're split and divided, and we have to quit letting them rule over us. A lot of it is our own doing. We won't stand up for anything, won't stand up to them. What is it about these people that everybody loves so much? Even most black people love white folks. Just tell the truth, you do. Better than you do your own people. You know how black people treat white folks like a person treats a lover. They love them, but they only react because they're upset because they don't love them back. And every now and then they do some stuff to you that you don't like. You react to, if you notice, you react only when they do something. All the other time, you treat them like you're crazy about them. And treat your people like crap. Because, see, we don't have anyone to look down on but each other. All other races have someone, they have another race to look down on. We're everybody's whipping boy, everybody, not whipping boy, but boogeyman. We're the boogeyman, see, when you don't have no one, that's the way this society is structured. Everyone has to have someone to look down on. It's in layers, on levels. Everyone has someone to look down on, except us. So that's why we do stuff to each other. Don't care much for each other. Can't do business with each other without stabbing each other in the back. At least I haven't been able to. Everybody I try to do business with stabs me in the back. I can have things even with these channels. Cable channel, everything back up and running, but I just do everything myself. Because I know if I get in with somebody, all they're going to do is stab me in the back. So why keep trying it? But look, we have to start trying to deal with each other like everybody else is doing. Everybody don't, all white folks don't like each other. All Latinos, Asians don't have to like each other. We always talk about we all got to unite and love. We don't have to love each other to do what we got to do. They just do what we got to do. No people is all of them are united. Usually, the people who save their people is a small amount of people. Look at protests. You have a city of 500 with 500,000 black people, and you may have 50 protesters. Yet they'll say the blacks are doing this and that. 50 out of 500,000. But when you have the Klansmen out there marching, and it's 50 out of 500,000, they don't. I don't hear anyone saying the whites out there doing this. When those Klansmen was in Cincinnati, did anyone say those whites are out there doing this? No, they didn't. You know why? Because they don't do that to white people. You do it to people who you want to demean. And the black people are, and the black men and women, we're going to have to stop this dividing stuff. The black women want to go off and do everything by themselves. All they talk about black women this, black woman that. While the black man is talking about black people. You got to make up your mind who you're going to be with. So it's no time for playing is out. Time for all this arguing back and forward is out. If you all want to go on off to yourself, go ahead. Hope you won't, but if you do, that's on you. We don't have time for playing anymore. We are at war, and we got to know who is with us and who is not. And when they start coming after you, talking about where the men at, no man is going to keep bothering you, walk down the street jerking your head away, treating him like he's trash. I can sit down and have a conversation with white women, Asian women. We just talking, have a nice conversation. I can't do that with a black woman. You say something to her, she won't say nothing. Then every man say something to her, hitting on her. How can you unite with a woman you can't even have talk to, who sees you as trash, trashing you all day long on social media? Then as soon as a black man put up something, you're always bashing black women. You ought to just shame yourself. You got some black women, if they're not trashing black men, they don't post. And if black men got to go on off to ourselves, do it ourselves, we'll do that. And see how far you get without us. And we can do it without you. You can't do it without us. We don't care nothing about your college education, because we can go get a job and make more money than you make with your degree. That's why women have to go to college, to make more money, because they can't make the money a man can make. Man go to trade school, and a record number of black men going to college, and plus, he can just go get a job at a factory, warehouse, construction, fireman, policeman, anything. Many jobs he can get that pays as much or more than you with your degree. So that's why you have to go to college. A black man don't always have to go to college. So quit letting that thing make you think you better than him. You're more likely to start a business and become a millionaire as a blue-collar worker with a trade. Most millionaires and billionaires didn't even go to college. So you got to stop this mess out, because we at war. And we got to know who is with us. And we don't want to have to be arguing with you when we're supposed to be at war. And when I say at war, I mean a strategic war. It's not physical unless they bring it that way. But right now we're at a strategic war. We need some people, black men and women, who going to sit down together and think this out. Not sit at the table and try to decide who's going to be the boss, and I don't want no man telling me nothing. We don't have time for that foolishness. Yeah, we're going to pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps, but we're going to have to do this together. I don't want to hear all this, you just keep at the table talking about black women and girls. We don't want to hear that foolishness. You're with us or you're not. Biblical Fox and all them talking about when you say black people, you're not talking about black women. Well, let them go. Go on about your business if you like that. We for people who going to stick together, black men and women, and so we can get this done. We don't have time to play no more. And we got to stand and argue with you all day long, we're going to leave you by the wayside. Come be with us and help us, because we got to strategize our way out of this. And be ready to fight if necessary. And I'm for preserving ourselves, and I'm gonna tell you, we won't be alone because you right now we got a lot of other people in the same shape as us. They never who they in situations they thought they'd never be in, and they have a more vested interest with us than they do with the other white people who are part of MAGA. And then the white people in MAGA, many of them are distressed. But I'm not thinking about them though. They can stay on over there with MAGA. Now we have a duty to preserve ourselves, and it's happening all over the world. You see a lot of nations rising up. They're kicking the colonialists out of their nation. They made them give up the military base in Burkina Faso. The reason I'm keep going back to them is because I like what's going on over there, and it's all a part of what's going on with us. It's do or die time right now. We have to get this rule from over us, because people are giving us our rights when they want to, and they're taking them back when they want to. And anything people give you as a gift is supposed to be yours. But when it comes to legislation and they give you rights, they can legislatively take it back. Anything they do with legislation, if they have enough people. I told women back in 2001 when we had a panel discussion that I told black women this: you all are ruining abortion. You know when you tell black women, so they all get mad, want to fuss and argue, because they take any criticism as an attack and feel like they have to have a comeback and tell you off because they think they don't do no wrong. And here I told them, you are ruining abortion because many abortions was just birth control, and abortions wasn't meant to be birth control. They're talking about what about rape and incest. The number of abortions that was said to be for rape was 1%. For molestation and incest, 0.5%, almost non-existent. Most women was having them, many was having them for medical reasons. There was really bad deformity with the child. The child was deformed, so so they had to deal with that. But the majority of abortions was for birth control. The majority of the late-term abortions was from black women. Many times they didn't realize they were pregnant until later. They didn't, and then you had others who just got them and the baby daddy broke up. Now they don't want the baby anymore. And y'all know I'm telling the truth. They don't need to sit there mad. You know I'm telling the truth. And I told them, you are going to ruin abortion like that. And then many say, well, they had abortions, they wanted to kill black babies. That was a group who wanted to do that, but it wasn't the government. Matter of fact, the government wasn't going to give black women abortion. It was, a matter of fact, black women had to take it all the way to the Supreme Court to be included in abortions. It was Dorothy Height. She was a feminist activist, and Maxine Waters. She was in her first term in Congress. They took it all the way to the Supreme Court for black women to be able to get abortions. So it may have been a group of people wanting to do that, but you have to go by what the government is doing. Just like they said, they showed those videos of the people talking about running the whites out of Africa. Those were some groups doing that, but that wasn't a governmental policy. If people say the Ku Klux Klan killing black people, we got to get them out of there. But is it a governmental policy? The president of the United States is supposed to be dealing with other governments, not groups within their nation. There are always going to be people say stuff and do things. That's why I say Trump seems like a little child compared to the South African president. Man, he was sitting there dressed sharp, clean shirt with them cufflinks on. He would dabble with the cufflinks sometime, and Trump sitting there in that same old tired blue suit, the same one he's in all the time. He even wore it to the Pope's funeral. He's the only one sitting up there with a blue suit on. Then they try to clown Obama, I think, for wearing a tan suit. This man had sat there on that same tired old blue suit, look like he got it at the Gap or somewhere. Supposed to be a billionaire. I mean, this is time of reckoning now. Because, see, many of the institutions that harm black people, Trump don't realize it, but they're being dismantled. But that's not his reason, but he don't realize it. They're being dismantled. And not in a way that's going to hurt us. But I'm going to tell you, if he won't touch Social Security, or you're going to see something happen in this nation, they'll probably tear the White House up with him in it. Because white people, when you make them mad, as a people, they don't play. It's not going to be no peaceful protest. They burnt the White House down once before, tore it up, tore Washington, D.C. up back in the 1800s. They tore Washington, D.C. up because of jobs. Let them do it. If we do it, they're going to try to deport you out of here. You don't want to leave like that. You want to leave with some GoFundMe money or $1 million in your pocket from the government. Be sure to hit my Cash App. You are not being generous to me, or stars on Facebook, because I want to keep this going. Because like I said, I plan to expand, and I'm gonna get. I'm right now. I'm doing everything, but I would like to get me a crew in here to work the other cameras. That's why I'm just using one camera, and bring in some shows. I want to hire some young people from over at the school, train them, and while they get paid. And I want to bring in some guests that I may need some funds for. Some very important guests, some well-known people. Because see, this is not just an area project of mine. I want to reach people all around the world. I may do some things, of course, just the city that I'm in. I would do some things according to the city that's important. But what I do is I like to appeal to a worldwide audience. So I would like for you to hit my Cash App tonight if you can. It's up on the screen. And subscribe to City of Champions on Facebook and YouTube, and also East St. Louis 89 Blocks Media. That's where I'm broadcasting tonight on Facebook. I had some problems with the copyright on City of Champions TV on Facebook, but I'm broadcasting on East St. Louis 89 Blocks Media on Facebook tonight, and I'll share it over to the others. But I am on Facebook. I'm YouTube, and you can hit my Cash App. That way we're going to try to expand this and maybe even go to some other areas to shoot, to go live and let you see things from other perspectives. That's what I like to do. And, not just stay around this area all the time. If they take cash, and I really don't want to go into my pocket if I'm not making any money, or take it from other shows because each show has to sustain itself. You can't take from one and give to the other. And I want to get some other people to start having shows, but they're gonna have to come with some sponsors if they want to have a show. Have to come with their own sponsors. But so think about that and be generous to us. And if not, dollar, $2, whatever you do, be fine because it all adds up. It all adds up. Cause we like to keep it going, and that way I can give. See, one of the reasons I want to do it, I can hook into the national media network, and I can pull certain things down. And that's something that most people don't have access to, but I can. But I want to be able to. I used to be a part of it at one time. But I want to be able to join it, and then I can pull stuff down right out the media access that many of just the average people wouldn't have access to, because I am registered media. But Charter Cable, WSL 984, then City of Champions TV on YouTube, I'm registered. Then with City of Champions TV on Facebook, East St. Louis 89 Blocks, and No More Water Fire Next Time on Facebook. So you have to have different mediums in case they shut one down, because that's what they're doing nowadays, because they don't like what you say, they may try to shut you down. Because I got some warnings for City of Champions TV, like as though it was a copyright or something, which it wasn't. Because what they were talking about was copyright was something I produced. One of the commercial of the book drive, I produced that myself. So that's a copyright infringement. I can't be copyright infringing myself because they're trying to shut down media that's critical of Trump, critical of this government. They're trying to shut it down. You saw what they're doing with The View. They're about to shut The View down with Whoopi Goldberg and her crew. They're about to shut them down. Saying they're going to have to, they say they either get shut down or become more moderate. And they've agreed to become more moderate. This nation's just bowing down to this man. And just he's ruining the nation and won't do it. He's ruining this nation, but they won't do anything about it. It's like everyone's sitting around trying to see how far he's going to go. It's almost like cult-like almost. And even the ones who don't follow him are not trying to do much. But we're going to have to do something. That's why I say black folks, man, some of us may need to get up out of here. I may be one of them. But like I said, if you leave, don't leave broke. Get such your GoFundMe. And then when they get popular, we petition the government. You want us gone? You will leave. You want us gone, we'll leave. But we're going to leave with some money in our pockets to start somewhere else. And starting off at $1 million, at $1 million, that sounds about right. Really, or more than that. But if you start out with $1 million, we could deal with that. Let me change my Wi-Fi setting. There we go. So, yeah, so I'm going to get ready to call it a night. But think about that with the GoFundMe and the $1 million, We'll start to go with the GoFundMe movement first. For those who want to get up out of here. I don't want to hear from those who don't. Those who want to. And if you do get money from GoFundMe, use it for the purpose you got the GoFundMe for. If they give you the $1 million to get up out of here, get up out of here. Don't take the $1 million and try to stay here anyway. Because they're not going to go for that. We don't need anyone ruining the cause. We don't need that. Then we start pulling ourselves up our own bootstraps, no matter where we go. Because if we stay here or leave, which is the place now we have to do for ourselves. Because no one else is going to. The government wants to destroy us. So we're going to have to try it again, like we used to. Build up our economic centers, and see, this time, this is not 1925, this is 2025. You better not come messing with us. You think you can pull that mess you used to pull back then? Like I said, this is 2025, not 1925. And with that, I want to say good night. And thank you for tuning in to No More Water Fire next time. Like I say, we put enough water on the problem. Now we got to fight fire with fire. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit my cash app, okay? So I'm gonna get out of here. So thank you very much.